So, all right. So you want a strong opinion, capital S, capital O, to begin. All right. Monogamy is inherently evil, and this is an actual belief. This is a genuine like opinion, and I can just I'm fuck it. You've signed up for this. I'm going to justify it. We can separate the reasons that monogamy is inherently evil into historical, social, and like individual evils. With the individual evil being like how it like inherently creates misery on an individual person. It creates misery in society, and it has historically created misery through its proliferation over eons and eons and eons. Um, I'm just saying, for those of you on the podcast, I've just seen that Matt Mellon put point evidence explain link
Bro, it's
in the
getting
chat. And if any of you
GCSE
attended
all over
British
again.
GCSE school, okay, so historically, the history of queer oppression is basically entirely rooted in monogamy and in the idea that the family unit is the basic unit of the state. I'm gonna sound like Pete for the first like 5 minutes of this episode, by the way. But like, essentially, like, how do you oppress queer people? How do you say that like gay relationships are wrong or trans people are wrong if there isn't a inherent like default monogamous family unit at the core of all state control? To this end, monogamy has forever, whether you consider monogamy as like a tool of state control or as something that begot state control because of its sort of like nature of being, is very much like a debate for you internally to have, because there's no like historical sort of like definitive answer to this. But almost all like state control comes from the family unit. It's so difficult to control a populace in the way that governments and any kind of oppressive regime tries to control people if you don't have defined family units. So historically, there's a lot of like stuff that could have been a lot nicer if we didn't inherently sort of like rely on monogamy as a thing. Socially, just like between like peoples in the world, um, I think if we look at like life as something that we were going to try and kind of optimize a little bit, just to make everybody as happy as possible,
Then we need IDL
monog-
Street first and foremost.
we would need Ideal Street,
Okay,
absolutely.
carry on.
But when we think about like relationships and the sort of like traditional values of relationships, people enter relationships with like, you go on a few dates with somebody, you enter into a relationship with them, and then you're like, okay, this is my like, we're gonna try to make that, yeah, like that, but we're gonna try and make this work.
That one.
Um, if this means that out of the 8 billion people on the planet, you have like a 3 to 5 sort of date period to decide if somebody is worth a shot or not. And then you're like committed to that. And that's fine if you get unbelievably lucky. But if we just imagine for a second a world where it is normal for people to like put that through rigor like we would nearly anything else in our lives.
What do you mean by put it through rigor?
So like in this case it would be like if you just continue to go on dates with other people throughout your relationships, and eventually you might find somebody who's like better suited for you, and then you would go like, okay, this has been really nice until now, but now I have something else I want to try. In today's world, doing that is psychotic and cruel and mean, and I'm not advocating that at all, unless you have consent from both parties, ethical non-monogamy, that kind of thing. But if we imagine a world where that's the norm and everybody does that, then the ratio of people who are happy in their relationships over time goes up dramatically. And you end up with people in like way more relationships that last, way less divorce, because people are like constantly checking that their partner is the right person for them. And like socially, I think the world would just be a much happier place if we didn't like commit ourselves to monogamous ideals so early in the process of getting to know people. And then on like an individual basis, I think it's so arbitrary that we care about like of all the things that we do in life, like tennis or eating quiche or whatever. There's nothing in life that we do and we're like, oh, I played tennis with Steve today and I had a great time. Now you're only allowed to play tennis with Steve forever. And the consequences for you not playing tennis with Steve even
IDL
one
for a
time,
season. Excuse me.
the consequences of you not playing tennis with Steve even one time are that you can't play tennis with me ever again. And I get that people are like precious about this, and there obviously are like sort of inherent connections between like emotional ties to people and physical like intimacy. But at the same time, it's really kind of arbitrary that we care so much about fidelity within the bedroom. And I say this as somebody who is like in a monogamous relationship. I think there are it's just like a much nicer world if we just stop caring about that and we separate relationships into emotional needs and sexual needs, and we just have these like coexisting and being okay generally that they're not the same things. That, you know, some relationships are going to have emotional needs first and maybe you'll find your sexual needs elsewhere, and other relationships might have both. But the idea that we put everything into one person inherently puts so much pressure on that person and on you to meet every single one of that person's needs, when there's nothing else in life that we depend entirely on one person for. And if we were a business, if we were in like a game, depending entirely on one thing to have no state of failure is just not logical. It's just bad. It's just a bad idea. You have a point.
Question.
Yeah.
If this might be answered, but like, it's difficult to overlook the feeling side for that. Like,
Yeah.
if my SO was getting freaky style with Finn Amos, I wouldn't be having that. Like, it would make me feel bad. You know what I
But
mean?
that's only
That's
because
nothing.
we exist in today's society. If it was normal,
I don't know, bro. If I
that
walked in and Finn was cheating at crazy
if
style on that,
everybody's partner
I
was
think
banging Finn Amos, you wouldn't
you
care
just gotta
as
applaud the
much.
bloke. That's why he's top 5 IDLers of all time.
Yeah,
How do we
exactly.
get to tomorrow's society then?
Um, we have to look at this. So I look at this like vegetarianism. I am in a monogamous relationship, but the more that I think people talk about this, the better it is for the world. Vegetarian, like people do inherently evil things on a daily basis. If we look at them
Oh
in
yeah.
isolation, like driving cars is kind of inherently evil because you are like pushing, like it's bad for the environment. You're doing it just for you on like a purely individual
Yeah.
basis. But at the same time,
Punching
the
children, same
society
thing.
that yeah, exactly. So children are like having children inherently evil.
Oh, I said
Or the
punching, but yeah.
oh, sorry, punching children. Yeah, we do
Punching
that.
children.
Um,
Or punching.
Jesus, what?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
move
I
on.
get it.
But yeah, like we do these things because society is set up in a way where we have to. Like there are loads of places that you can't exist without driving a car yourself. It's just not feasible to live there and like exist in society. So we do these inherently evil things, but things only change over time if we talk about them, if we have like awareness of them. So I think my solution to like achieving tomorrow's society where we all fuck each other all the time is basically just talking about fucking each other all the time, even if that's not something I live in practice right now anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, so welcome to the IDL Lowground podcast.
Welcome to
Can we carry on
we can
discussing
talk about
this?
video games.
This is actually really interesting.
We can discuss this as long as you like, Henry.
I can go for literally hours on basically any piece of philosophy, or like ethics. So just if you want to go there, we can, but like strap the fuck in.
Okay. Okay, so
And in
you
Finn
said-
Amos's case, strap the fuck on because
No,
he's
he doesn't
doing
need
everybody.
to strap on. He doesn't need to strap
He
on.
would
could-
after like 5 or 6 people in a row.
He can
He'd be
go,
like,
bro. He
I
can go.
I need a break. I need a break. Just use
No,
the
but then
plastic one.
then he hits the fucking Pokemon sub out. JPK comes in, bang, and the faces of the remaining partners
yeah.
drop
You have
because
that like little text box of like your foe is about to send in
yeah,
name of like
1,000-yard stare.
fucking Nathan, would you want to change Pokemon? And Finn's like, yeah, let's
bro.
put in JPK.
Yeah, let's get this guy in, dude. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
are you saying that if it was like a normal thing that everyone was freaking at crazy style with everyone, then I wouldn't feel bad if the missus was just off to get piped by Finn?
Yeah, pretty much. This is something that like hasn't always been viable because of like sexual health stuff. Like, you know, if people did this like 200, 300 years ago, we'd all die of venereal disease. But now we have the technology to live in the world of tomorrow where we care less about pointless things. And this is one of the pointless things that I kind of wish we cared less about.
Okay. Matt,
Speaking of pointless things we care a lot about, IDL's occurring.
Way! That's a fantastic segue. Really impressed.
Yeah, we're basically at the end of a season. Like we've got like 2 games left for this regular season, and I am gonna drag us back to IDL, unfortunately, because I think Henry would literally be here all day. So yeah, we've got 2 more games left for the regular season, and then then we're into the playoffs. I think how many teams are still in flux for the playoff positions?
This is what I was going to
ask. I don't think anyone is actually.
Yeah, like, do the games matter at all?
No.
Are they
Oh,
just,
actually,
like,
no.
for
The good
fun
guys
games?
game might. The good who?
no,
how
I don't
did
think
the
good guys
do
can get in
against Ast?
mathematically.
How did they do
So
against Ast? Did
upper
they lose to
bracket is
Ast?
now locked. We know upper
Yeah,
bracket
uppers is locked.
The only question would be like seeding in spoons and like maybe elimination. If
Yeah. So the good guys lost 2-0 to Ast. So even if they win 2-0 this week, then they're out. Yeah. So everything's locked basically for upper.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do we have? Do you have the standings then?
Yeah, I'm looking at the standings right now. So currently,
Because
I'll
we
put it
have
in the chat.
CUST, we have something to
that
say
doesn't help.
about this recent game week that's gone
Oh.
on uppers and.
Oh God, yeah.
You want to talk about uppers?
So okay, let's first of all. So Team Rocket are clearly in first position. They are.
That's not correct. That is no longer correct.
Oh wait, that's yeah
No,
because they got
they're
2-0.
joined with bad guys.
Yeah,
aren't
now
they?
So
joined.
the bad
They got-
guys are 12-4, and Team Rocket are 12-4. But the bad guys 2-0 Team Rocket.
Yeah.
So Team Rocket are now second place. I
Mm.
think much to Lucas's chagrin.
That
Chagrin? I
sh-
don't know.
don't know. That was I thought Team Rocket were gonna beat bad guys, but I thought having watched the games,
I'm just gonna
I
say we
think
took a
Nathan
game
is-
off both. We took a game off the bad guys. So like, I'm
I mean,
just
so
saying,
did
like-
we, and Rocket.
Yeah. We've
Like-
taken a game off everyone in the
Yeah.
top 3 except Silent. who
Yeah.
Annihilated us.
Yeah, and we have to play Silent next.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
In fairness to Team Rocket, I'm pretty sure Nathan spent the entire season preparing for Team Rocket.
You
Like,
can't prepare those CD.
No, like every game, like at least once a week, I heard Nathan ask somebody, "How do I beat this team?" Like genuinely, like in Discord, he would just be like, "How do I beat this team?" And he was asking it jokingly, but I'm pretty sure he'd been like cooking up like charts and spreadsheets on like the probability of each hero that they could pick in CD, like giving them a win or something. He seemed very prepared.
I mean, I
going
hope
into
he
those
that
drafts.
would be fucking
Yeah.
epic if he did that and he won. He might be the largest brain.
It's a lot easier to do in CM. I miss Captain's Mode so much. Oh my
So
god,
do
I miss
I.
it. Captain's Draft fills me with a certain sense of dread I can't find anywhere else in the world. Like, I really
Why?
don't like...
I
Because
don't
it's
get-
so... Because you can't prepare for the games, like,
So-
at all.
Henry, if I give you an example, because I'm mostly on Matt Mellon's side. I didn't used to
I was
be
getting
until they
flashbacks
changed.
then. I thought you were gonna say, Henry, if I give you Bane,
Like, so when when we had those games versus Team Silent last
Yeah.
week, and we had the first pool, and we lost, and then we load up again, and we got nearly identical heroes to the point where they could, if we hadn't banned them, picked all 5 of the heroes they just won with.
Yeah.
That's the kind of dread that CD instills. Like,
It's the feeling of really being completely impotent after the draft.
Yeah.
Like you look at the pool, like there's been a couple of pools I've played in this season where I've been like, I have no heroes here in the whole pool, even with no bands that I would want to play.
that's rough, dude. Not a single hero.
there's also
No.
loads of times where just like the maths of CD doesn't work out. Where like if there's So you have the 6 bands, but let's say, just to make the maths easy, let's say there are 8 heroes in the pool that are like really strong or like need a ban for the players that you have. This means that both teams get 1 hero, and this is inherently fair within that like really strong set. But let's say there are 12 heroes that are really strong, then you end up with like one team gets 2 of those like inherently strong heroes, and most of the time, because CD is a limited pool, you get matchups like within this. So that
Yeah.
on its own
Yeah.
isn't so bad, but as soon as you have like an Abaddon or a Necrophos is like one of those heroes that you have to address, suddenly it locks out several other heroes, or like it necessitates other
Yeah.
heroes being picked.
So so for an
Yeah,
example that
please.
both of you two will be aware of, in our last game where you guys had that Bloodseeker, never in my life have I thought Bloodseeker was good until that pool. With all of those heroes, there was nothing I could play that was going to be good against that Bloodseeker. So I had to pick something that was equally shit because I had nothing else. I had nothing else to do. It was like that or fucking Venge,
Yeah.
like Windranger or Revenge. And like, obviously, oh yeah, in hindsight, I should have just picked Bloodseeker because I could have, but I wasn't. I'm of the mindset. We had this conversation in the team after the game about me being less adverse to picking bad heroes because Bloodseeker is a bad hero. But in that pool, he was the top 1 hero. Like he really should have been your first pick. Honestly, I think.
We
Like,
thought we did
looking...
think about it genuinely. We
So,
were like, can we just pick Bloodseeker?
But that's like so far out of my frame of reference is picking Bloodseeker with that priority that I can't see past it. So maybe that's my issue with CD. But it's really difficult. It's difficult to draft.
I love the puzzle of CD, but like as a big lover of like AD and these like sort of microcosmic puzzle things, I just think the balance of CD is just outdated. Like the game,
Yeah, they need to be more than one. There needs to be a few more heroes in each section or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you need like either more heroes in each section, or I think you can solve the whole thing with a second phase of 1 ban for each team
So like 2 bans, 2 picks.
fifth. Yeah.
One
So
ban.
after the 5th and 6th hero pick, so 3
Yeah.
picks on either side, not last phase, because then it would just be like you can never cheese anybody.
Yeah.
But like 3 heroes each, or maybe even 3 heroes and 2 heroes, I think could actually work.
I think you could do like old what's it called? Freaking old captain's mode where it was like 2 bans, 1 pick, 1 pick, 2 bans.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like 1 ban each
You could do
then.
that.
So 2 bans each, pick, ban, and then you go into the rest of the draft. Like 2, 2, 2, 1 or something like that.
I think
However
if
it
it
works
was less painful to do, there's been loads of suggestions of us as a
yeah.
community like doing our own little spreadsheet for it and then picking
Yeah.
them in all pick. But it's just so much faff. Like
Yeah.
It is, and also getting pools, just like even just generating, like it's just a pain. It's just such a pain. But in any case, yeah. So Team Rocket and Bad Guys, they are 1 and 2 at the moment, not in that order, 2 and 1. I don't think anyone's super surprised by this. I think Bad Guys, I did have them a bit lower at the start of the season.
Me too.
But
Actually.
they have played really well, and I think Will especially has really turned on the heat this season.
I
Which
only
is-
had them low because it's Nathan in captain's draft.
Yeah,
And
yeah, for sure.
historically bad. If Nathan has managed to combine with JJ in some kind of like insertion mech of captain's drafting where
They're
JJ is,
Jaegering the team.
exactly, where JJ is like creative enough to channel Nathan's raw analytical input into something
He's like
that
a
works.
I've
he's like a
got it.
decoder.
Yeah.
No, I've got it. Right, so JJ and Nathan, they're the Jaeger pilots. Will is the mech. Ellie is the gun.
No, Ellie is the gun, bro.
Ellie is the gun.
In fact, there's 2
Ellie's
guns.
desperately trying to hold on.
Yeah. Vibes.
Ellie's the gun, and then they fire once, and you're like, oh, thank God, we survived.
No,
And then it's got 2
rewind.
barrels. It's got 2 barrels. No.
Yeah. I mean,
But yeah,
JJ
so
is
those 2 teams, they're definitely good. Definitely good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like unhappy or surprised with that as like a grand final. I think it would be a very like hype rematch as a grand final. As much as I want us to get there, I think that would be like a very good grand final for this season.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, going down the list, like as at least with current standings for last week, so Team Silent are up next, and that team is on paper probably like
Stacked.
like one of the scariest IDL teams I've ever seen on paper.
Yeah.
Like
Taylor is
that team is really
good.
really hard. Well, damn, that
also-
team matches up really nicely against my team.
We had a really like annoying thing where because Taylor had been like away for a couple of games,
Yeah.
and had played in the unticketed bit of this season, we could not research Taylor in IDL. Like we couldn't. There was no data for us to like look at and just figure out where they're picking him in the draft, like how much they're prioritizing him. And as much as it's hard to prepare in CD, like the little preparation you can do is kind of more important for that. This isn't an excuse. It was just like they came out the gates and it was like terrifying. They were so much stronger than we thought they were going to be, and they just felt so difficult.
I think what the biggest like I wouldn't say surprise, just like damn, was how good Sean has been this season. Like in our series, it was like, what the fuck has Sean been eating? Because he just came and banged us all out straight away. And then
also Gianni Carey has been popping off. Like they've been flipping 5 and 1, which you don't see a lot. That's not a common substitution for roles.
Yeah,
like that's some crazy shit doing 5 and 1 subs. Like.
Yeah, and also,
in theory, that's what our team does as well, but to much less success than theirs.
Yeah. Also, the way that they were playing around the map was like really good. I don't know. It felt in our games.
Taylor's like he pulls them around the map.
Like, we couldn't find them.
Like, to the right place.
We'd smoke up around the entire. We'd run a 360. We go 12 to 12, and it was fucking.
Yeah.
Where the hell are they?
Yeah.
It's literally They have really good. Their map play is really really nice. What do you think about your team? Do you think your team have met expectations? Because you're 4th in the rankings as per last week's standings.
I think Slappy Fatnuts is a really similar vibe to the last time I was on a team with Henry, which was, I can't remember the name of the team.
DNM.
The one we won with Finn and JPK. Thank you, Dastardly and Mogley. Where we started crazy strong. We've gone through a little bit of despair mode, and hopefully we finish the season the same way that team did, by like rising from the ashes to become this unbeatable behemoth of. I think that was also Captain's Draft. I can't remember.
No,
that was Captain's Mode.
It wasn't, because we picked Mars every game.
Yes, we did. But yeah, we need a couple of good pools. But I think we've at least internally like mentally addressed the problems that happened in the silent game. So I think we'll give them a much better go round next time.
Yeah.
And if we beat them, I think we can. We've taken games off both Rocket and the bad guys. I think it's super possible for us to get there. Yeah, I really love the team. If I can wax lyrical for a second, my like approach to drafting teams in IDL has always been like to pick people with the same taste in Dota. Do you know what I mean?
Art and science.
Yeah, the same. The like 4-quadrant. Are you a dancer? Are you a marcher? Are you know?
Yeah.
But like to sort of get like a group of people who, even if it's not the strongest like mathematically on paper, if you agree on the way to, ours is very very strong. But
it is the
if you like
strongest
agree
on
on
paper.
Is it?
It is by quite a bit. It's like 100
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah,
well.
it's the strongest.
You did that. You did that. Well, because you got Marcus fifth pick.
I did get Marcus for like
500 points.
Crazy. He's pulled. Big props to Marcus. While I have like a mouthpiece, massive props to Marcus. He's pulled it out this season. He's tried so hard, and like you can really obviously see the results.
Yeah.
But yeah, you pick a bunch of people who think about Dota the same way, who want to play at like the same speed, and as long as you can like point that in the right direction with the draft, I think that makes IDL so easy to play. Whereas like I've been on really strong teams where you've had like multiple directions, even if the players are individually super strong, you just can't put.
Is that why we don't get along?
Yeah, pretty much.
What have you guys not worked on teams in the past?
No.
Yeah, we've
Very
gone a couple
badly.
teams and they've gone quite badly. They've gone real bad. Like,
In fairness, one of them was a Mel captain team.
Oh hell.
yeah.
That is no.
things
Wait,
went
wasn't there a
wrong.
team that it was me, you, there was Will and some other people. Wasn't there one of those?
Oh, I
Or am I
can't
thinking of someone
remember.
else?
I think you might be
In any
thinking I don't
case.
think I've ever been on a team with Will except my first ever season, which we won, with Exploding Cow and Poddy Pod Pod.
Oh, I remember
Oh,
that
we're
team.
recording
Yeah.
He
the
played against
podcast
my
right
team in the
now.
grand finals. He played Veno. I remember.
He did, yeah. I bought Orchid on Clockwork twice in a row.
I think I played Tidehunter
Were you playing offlane?
for some reason.
No, he was playing mid.
Ah, I see.
I can't
Okay.
remember.
There was
I
a
don't know.
Tide carry.
It was
No, I actually
Captain's
think-
Craft.
Yeah, in any case, I would say I think your team have slightly underperformed if I were to be critical.
I would agree.
I would agree.
I would
Yeah.
agree.
But in any case, you've obviously got into the uppers, like, by...
We'll see if we
Let's give
continue
you
to
a teeth.
underperform.
Wait, how did you guys do against
No,
Ass?
this was fucking
Like, did you-
crazy. So we drew 1-1 to Ass, did we? I think so.
Oh, shit, so there would have been a tiebreaker if we'd won.
Yeah, there would have been.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
shit!
and Ass then got 2-0'd by fucking I've forgotten the name.
Sporky
Diver.
Oh, yeah,
Which is
yeah.
crazy. They
It's
just
crazy.
Oh,
that was the
shit, so they
only
just
way
played
we
one
could get
game.
in. It was they were
Yeah,
they were fucking losing everything, and then they just pulled a Yui and just pulled out the best 2-game series in history to get us.
Okay,
through.
yeah, so they just had to take one
Praise
game
our
and then you guys
savior,
had to...
Andrew.
Yeah, shit, I
And
didn't
also, in
realise there were so
fairness,
many
like
stakes.
everyone on the team played crazy well that year.
Yeah,
That
we'll
was like-
get to them. We'll get to them.
We'll
They're
get
a little bit further on, unfortunately. Ass. Wow. Look, check out that ass. I think the ass guys were really good. Like,
Yeah. Dread Knight made a much better showing this season. I think, like, not in the sense of his own play, but I think in terms of like how he got to shine in certain games.
yeah, he was the
than
focal
his
point, wasn't he?
previous
Like, he
season.
was
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was the guy for that team. Like,
Yeah.
Really worked out well.
He still is the guy. Still is.
So was the guy.
yeah, but like he was like, you know, he was the win condition. He was the focal point. He was the, you know, that was how they won games, and you know it worked.
I mean, they did.
It's not-
Sorry, go ahead. Oh, cheers.
I was gonna- it's
oh,
just
okay.
like, it's
oh,
nice
hell,
to see-
man.
I was
Discord
just gonna say,
delay,
it's
my
nice to see
beloved.
Monty have like a season that has ended like pretty well. You know, like Monty actually had like a good time instead of something just like going wrong and like falling apart through nobody's fault. But
And
just,
the fact that it's Ass 2.0 as well is kind of like
Yeah.
a nice redemption arc.
yeah,
It's fun.
yeah.
Yeah. Wait till they hear about Ass 3.0. I think they started off really hot though, didn't they? They were like 4-0 at the start.
Yeah.
Well, as they should. Like their team is like numerically the worst by a margin, like a strong margin. And
Really?
yeah, they've just like 150, maybe 200 lower than the next.
Wow.
So you look at their team. and
200 lower.
look at their team and compare it to ours. It's like I don't know how it's that far different. I mean,
Exactly. It
Our
doesn't.
offlane,
Yeah,
our offlane is like Jeansy for Marcus. That's kind of like 1-for-1 in terms of elo. I'm pretty sure. Or maybe
Yeah,
Marcus
more or
is a
less.
bit higher. Then mid is like Monty for Mini Greenie. That is exactly the same. Dread Knight for Jasper is pretty much exactly the same. So and then it's the supports, which is Snubs and Frenzy.
Yeah.
Is me and you. I think that's where the difference comes in because I think you are the same as their highest, but I'm a lot higher than the other support.
Yeah.
Although I think that both Snubs and Frenzy are like as
Super underrated.
as good as us, if not better. So I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like it's underrated team.
I agree.
Moving down the list, the good guys. Now, what have we got to say good about the good guys?
Good.
Gotta be the best vibes team in recent
have to
IDL
be, yeah.
history. Like, oh my god.
Well, as long as
I would-
Higgsy's good vibes, Higgsy.
I'm pretty sure Higgsy's surrounded by like Ryan and Finn. You know, like I
Yeah.
don't know how you like unless Finn's in despair mode again. Like I don't think that gets
Again.
bad vibes. Yeah, super. Like I would love to be on that team, even if we lost like every game. I think we would
They
still
wrecked
find a
my
way to
team.
have a good time. So
They really ruined my team. Nelson has had a pretty decent season on carry. I'll say that. Like,
Yeah, Nelson.
I messaged him after our game, and I was like, "Damn, dude, where have you been all my life?" And he was just like, "Oh, I'm just hitting creeps." And I'm like, "Nah, no,
Yeah,
you're
he's on
not."
fire. He's on fire.
yeah,
Yeah.
Nelson's one of those players who I have like a huge amount of respect for, despite the fact that I think Nelson and I could not look at the game of Dota more differently. Like in the like chart of where I like internally place people in my weird custard estimations, I think I think Nelson's a great player.
Where do
but
you
in
place
terms
him
of like
on the spectrum?
he's like he's like a slow dancer, if you know what I mean. Whereas I'm like a fast marcher, if you get the
Okay.
drift. Where I'm like tempo, tempo, tempo. Let's go. We do this, then we do this, then we do this. I'm very like orders and function. I've left that a
I
lot
know what you
to
mean.
like Charlie this season because Charlie's way better at the game than I am, and he understands like Jabba and you, and you've all played together. You have synergy, so I'm much happier leaving that like away. But in like my previous teams, the last like couple teams, I've been very much like the shot caller, and that's very like hard march draft. Whereas I think Nelson is much more like happy to sit back, take things slow, wait for the enemy to make mistakes, and really capitalize on them. So I think we might be like, we've never tested this, but we might be fully incompatible. But I have so much respect for him because he always like finds a way to look robust and strong in a game. I can't remember a game I've seen Nelson play where he hasn't had a game.
I will say, as much as I love Nelson, I think there was one offlane season when he had a tough time, and I saw him once playing, I think it was Doom, and he didn't have a game. But apart from that, I absolutely agree.
Maybe I missed that.
And
It's actually kind of easy to not have a game on Doom. It's surprisingly easy to not
I
have a
remember
game on Doom.
one time in recent history, I played Doom. At 7 minutes, I had 7 deaths, and I was in the most despair mode I think I've ever been. Kept going back to lane, and I was like, you know when in Dota when you reach that like critical.
Was that me killing you?
No, it wasn't in IDL, but that did happen.
not?
But it was a different game.
I'm sure I've played against you playing Doom.
You have, yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, and you beat me, yeah.
I don't think I did.
Oh, actually, no,
Because-
no. It was you killed me, but I was the same on net worth, I think, because I was Doom. I think. Anyway, Nelson this season.
Oh, you were offlane, yeah.
Yeah, Nelson this season. I saw him playing DK the other day and was mad impressed. I thought he was really good on DK. As for Sean on DK, and DK's been picked at the TA, so maybe we need to ban
I think DK might be a sleeper hero.
Yeah, I think so.
That we just didn't realize was as good as it was.
Yeah.
I'll say something nice about my team now.
Oh my god. They've coped
Custard,
well
how
with
do
you
you-
being there.
How do you think you'd do if you were on this team, Custard? I think you'd lose your mind in about 3
Remind me of
seconds.
who else is on your team.
Fluffius?
Yeah, I'd lose
Trajan.
my mind. I'd
Ollie.
lose my mind.
And
Oh
Pete.
my god.
So I think Pete has actually done what you suggested and created a team that synergizes in how they look at a game.
Yeah, absolutely. By not looking at the game at
The
all,
opposite way.
talking
The
about
opposite
like
way.
fairies and like whatever's on their mind, what they had for lunch, the like existential.
I spent quite a lot of
nonsense.
the game. Yeah, I spent quite a lot of the game singing, like
Yeah.
80s hits.
I would emerge from that team and go on a 5-season losing streak because I have lost anything that remains of my ability to think about Dota in any capacity. I would just not be functional at the end of
fucking
the
love to
season.
be
This
on
whole
that
team, from my perspective, this team has been putting the reins on Pete and just seeing how far we can go. Because I can't carry the team all by myself, so I've been like, "Come on, Pete, yeah, let's go, yeah,
Pete.
and
this poor
Pete, go, go."
Life is just like struggling at the front.
Okay, I've got a question then, Cust. Where are Matt and I on the dance march, fast, slow, whatever?
Oh,
scale
we
you're on?
need Seb for this.
Can
Seb
I
was the
answer?
progenitor
Can I
of-
answer for Henry? I think Henry is a chameleon.
What the
I think
fuck?
you adjust wherever what team you're on.
Ah.
I don't think
Very down.
I don't think you
I see
because
that,
you're
yeah.
like you go with, especially in lane at least, you go with the flow with whatever your lane partner's gonna do.
Yeah, I try and just match them in vibe.
So there you go. That's what you do.
Yeah,
There you go.
I think that's actually really accurate.
Yeah.
I would have put you just instinctively on the sort of like dance but fast
Yeah,
kind of
Like
side.
Finn, because you played with Finn so
Yeah,
much.
yeah, exactly. But that's because I've experienced you with those people. I'm pretty sure if I put you in a lane with like Dev or like maybe even who's like a slow offlaner. The new guy, Inferno Koi.
Moose.
Yeah. Moose, Inferno Koi. Like you could, if I put you in a lane with them, I'm pretty sure it would take you like 1 game to adjust, and then you'd be like a slow dancer or something.
Mhm.
I see that. Matt, I think
Wait. Yeah, what am I?
I would say you're. I don't know what the fuck you are actually.
I think
I
you
am.
are
I'm chaos incarnate.
Yeah, you are
You
chaos.
are kind of chaos incarnate, but I think you're like an angry dancer. That's what
I would have said
I'd
fast
call
dance
you.
would be my first thought.
So I want to say fast dance, but
Is
I
there
think
a
it's
third- is
fast
there a third
dance.
axis?
Yeah, there's like a z-axis of like anger versus chill, and
Oh
but it's
yeah,
not.
Charlie's at the chill end. Charlie's
Yeah,
chill.
and it's not like, and that's kind of where you, because you're both very similar mids in terms of you have like a massive focus on laning, and like you're a little bit sort of like, oh, I can just put them under tower and kill them in that sort of, maybe not the same heroes, but the same sort of mentality of like how I can just abuse this lane.
Could I offer an alternate word rather than anger? Could it be hype?
Yeah, that
Hype,
works.
yeah.
That
Because
works.
I do,
Yeah.
I have. There's
have a
been at
history.
least 5 or 6 occasions this season where I've been shouting at my lane opponent about how shit they are in voice chat.
So does the hype? Is that the
hype-
positive access and tilt is the negative access of that? Is it like?
It goes both ways.
No,
I think hype goes both ways.
I kind of think hype and chill is kind of
Yeah,
the
hype,
like
hype is like
Okay,
it, hype is the amplitude, and chill is like staying on the level.
yeah
I go up and down. I'm a sine wave. Charlie's dead.
yeah.
Custard, you're on the chill side of that. You're always trying to simmer me down. That's what I feel.
It's interesting that you'd say that, because in pubs I'm
Yeah,
really not.
yeah.
I'm like
Really?
proper, like
Chaos.
we go here, we do this.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
this doesn't
that.
work, the game is over.
Yeah, but that's like in my like sometimes I'll just be like, fuck it, let's do this. But you're like, no, let's think and let's just
Oh yeah,
simmer
yeah.
it
I'm
down. Okay.
more cerebral than I think people initially estimated me to be when I joined IDL, and everyone was like, "Custard's
Oh,
a fucking moron."
Custard, you've been around almost as long as I, or longer? No, almost as long as me. I think
We
one
joined in the
season
same
less.
season. We
Was
joined
it
in the same
season?
same
So
season.
I think you can probably say the same thing for me about my cerebrality
Absolutely,
in terms of the game. Because when I started, I was just like, I was a full idiot. I was like,
Well,
full
you
just-
could be a full
like
idiot because
barbarian-
you had an
barbarian
extra
mode.
2,000 MMR on everybody
I
else.
didn't. I wasn't. I was like
IDL.
4K. I was like
Oh,
4
wait,
5K. when I
interesting.
joined.
I think the impression that most people had of, maybe this contributed to it, where everyone was so afraid of you, with the exception of Nathan.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
you
QC.
still beat Nathan, I think, during those times, but
Yeah.
like, and probably, I don't know, I'm not gonna get into that, but like, everyone else was just like so afraid of you in IDL that you may as well have had like a bonus 1,000 MMR because nobody would cast spells at you.
That's it. It was so nice. And then I laned against QC one time, and then the illusion got shattered.
Yeah.
Should we talk about
QC was just like, I'm gonna rush Ring of Health in your lane against you mid, and like I don't have an answer for rushing Ring of Health.
And he probably built 6 of them as well, knowing QC.
No, he built Ring of Health, and without buying boots, he would just rush Hood, and then
yeah.
like I couldn't play the game because he had a Hood.
Should
Impeccable.
we talk
Yeah.
about Sporky Diver next?
Oh, I love this team, man.
I love
I
this
wish I
team
was on
too.
that team.
love
I want to be Andrew on that team. I'd love that. That'd be so much fun. Like getting
I
to
mean,
play with my boys, Sam and Harry. That'd be great. You know how much I love Harry.
We have a special bias for this team because they like saved us from the pits of despair through the most like you had
Imagine
like
if you guys were in the lower bracket. That'd be wild.
we were so hype. Like I think I was as hype watching the Sporky Diver versus Ask Guys series when they were winning as I was watching the finals of the last like 2 TIs. I was so hype. It was so good.
I was drunk, so we won there.
Nice.
That was good. I was checking it whilst I was in the club. Oh yeah. JPK's team. Oh, Joe.
Harry, say something nice about Joe.
He brought it upon himself. Like
And
He did.
it's difficult to say nice things about the eliminated team without them sounding like sardonic, but I think they have made the most of a season where they were in it like very much not favored. I think the draft, like the player draft, was perhaps a little misled in terms of just like they picked a path and that path didn't go very far upwards in the direction of good, and they sort of ended up in like an industrial estate, and there were some like weird guys sort of looking at them, and they were like, this isn't a safe place for us to be.
It smells weird. Like
smells
there's like
weird.
noises. They don't know what's going on. Yeah.
I have recently played quite a lot of games with Jerry in like pubs, and I've come to really enjoy playing with Jerry. I
Yeah, I
think
like playing with
Jerry,
Jerry.
Me
yeah,
too.
it's like it, but it takes like a couple of games to get used to, if you know what I mean. Like
Uh-huh.
he's like QC but mid,
He's
is
QC,
how I
yeah,
would. Yeah,
yeah,
he's like QC but
yeah.
mid.
I fully agree. Fully agree. Same
Um,
vibe.
and I genuinely, if I think if we ran the season back now with a full season of JPK and Seb getting used to playing with Jerry, I think they would probably not win, but I don't think they'd be eliminated. I think they'd get a few more
Yeah,
games.
I think I'd agree. The only thing I think that team's missing is somebody who's like a super shot caller.
Yeah,
Seb
yeah.
can be that, but isn't.
They've been
You
out of the
need
game.
to, yeah, you need to enable Seb's lane so he
Yeah,
feels like strong enough in the game to do
to
the shot
short.
calling,
Yeah,
and then I
yeah.
think you have strong team, and that's where they're the two games they've picked up have looked really good.
Mm. Yeah. Okay, Cus, we've got some questions for you, my boy. My boy.
I don't know what that was. I can't do that. I should.
No, no, no. That's fine. That's on the internet
Okay.
forever now. It's
We've
great.
got. Let me
Yeah,
do.
kill me.
Someone's gonna make a gif of that.
Kill me.
Okay, let me.
Oh wow, we got loads.
We got loads.
Juggernaut
We did.
in
Okay.
Juggernaut.
Juggernaut. Yeah.
Juggernaut.
Um. Yeah. Juggernaut
Pete.
and
It's Pete.
Juggernautoya
It's Pete.
says,
Oh, enjoy it. Right, gotcha.
if you had to add custard to a savoury dish, what would it be?
Oh. I reckon you could get away with
Well, hold on,
putting
hold on, hold on. Before we get into the answer to that question, quiche is a savoury custard.
that is true.
Continue.
That is absolutely true. But if we're adding like if I take this question authentically and I go we're adding
Yeah.
a dessert custard to a savory dish, I reckon you could make a like Yorkshire pudding work. You have like a Yorkshire pudding,
Yeah.
and you have like a little sweet filling, and it becomes kind of like a pastry overall. I think that would be fine. That would work.
Could you use it in the place of hollandaise?
No,
No.
no, no, no.
No, no. Look, hear me. It's the
No.
same color.
It's the yeah. That's where about where the
That's how all
similarities
food
end.
works. Yeah.
This food tastes yellow.
One
Food
time,
tastes yellow.
one time at lunch in school, we used to have like the teachers would sit on the end of the table, and for pudding, we had a roast for lunch, and then we had chocolate cake with chocolate custard for pudding, and the teacher who sat at the end of the table poured his custard on his thing and started eating it, and then as it came down to us, we realised it was actually gravy. And he just poured gravy on his chocolate cake, and he was eating it like we wouldn't notice, and he was trying to play it off like we wouldn't notice. It was
Okay, that's gross. Oh,
it was
Incredible.
gross. It was gross.
It sounds great.
Anyway, question 2: Have you ever used your powers of being on stage for good rather than getting the whole room of people to chant lies and slander?
It is
If-
Pete.
If so, how? If not, how and when will you?
So, for those of you who don't know, when I was playing a show in York, Pete and a couple of my other friends, including Ryan and Sean, I think, maybe Sean, I can't remember, turned up to watch the show, and I got an entire room of people, maybe like 200 people, to chant at Pete that he's bad at AD. Which was one of the highlights of my life, honestly. Have I ever used my powers of being on stage for good? Earlier today, I got a message in Discord about how the fellowship stuff had helped somebody who, quote, I suffer with severe anxiety to the point I struggle to go out, and your music has helped with that to the point where I can go outside and exist. So,
No way. That is fucking sick.
Actually, that's not on stage. That's in a studio.
you got me there. Yeah, all of the stage stuff has done that. I mean, in fairness, this literally was quoting. P.S. You were fantastic at Manchester with Glory Hammer and Dominum. I was right at the front, where Brad was most of the time, and loved it. So that was
Nice.
live.
Boom,
Yeah,
roasted. Also, JPK once when we were
I'm just connected to this bit now.
driving to work, JPK actually didn't have a job. Just FYI, he did actually work. When we were driving to work, I put on the Fellowship like shuffle, and we by the way we listened to Fellowship every day going to work. I don't even know why, but it was like get in the car, right? Fellowship's going on shuffle, and then Joe listened to what's like your biggest song? I forgot what it's called.
Glory Days or Dawn.
Glory Days.
Glory Days.
And Joe was like singing along, but he didn't know that it was Fellowship, and he was like, "Oh, this song's sick! Like I play this on Osu all the time." And I was like, "Dude, this is Custard." He was like, "What the fuck? Why is my favorite song my IDL captain? What is this?"
Yeah,
That's pretty cool. Okay, question 2 from Fellowship showed in my YouTube music recap.
Is that Ryan?
Maybe. What reasonably MMR team would you make to win a season as POS 5 with who you haven't won with before?
That does make the question more interesting with who you haven't won with before.
Yeah.
Let me get the Hall of Fame up so I can fact check you.
I probably would have picked very similar to my current team, but we are the strongest, so I think that's not reasonably MMR'd. And I've won with Henry before. Jeansy is 100% on this team. I really want to play a season with Jeansy.
Not me. We haven't won yet.
I reckon, yeah, we could take Matt. We could take Matt Mellon.
Okay,
Matt
well
Mellon
then,
and then I need like 2 lower tier.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Well, Jeansy's quite low. Jeansy's like 400 cost at the moment.
Cost.
Yeah.
Bro, it's an item.
But you are like 2200 MMR or ELO or something. So.
Not after this season. I'm going to be 2199.
My God. So based on this season's performance, I would take Sean as 1. Because that's like a cut price 1 who I think can make it. With like a strong mid. And
I know you won with
really
Sean. You can't take him. You won with Sean.
Oh, I did win with Sean, but I didn't win with Sean on Carry. I won with Sean on 5.
No, you
Does that?
you can't,
Okay.
you can't take
I can't take Sean.
You can't take Andrew.
I can't take Andrew. That was my secret plan.
You can't take QBHJ.
Oh, I loved playing with Dom.
You can't take far too far either.
Kira, Sam.
Ooh,
hold on.
And then I'd need like
checking.
a.
Yeah, he's clean.
He's clean. He's clean.
And then I need like a. Actually, I would take Kira on, but I would prefer to play with Connor. I want Connor to come back.
That'd be fun.
I would choose Connor. So Connor, and then I'd need like a really cut price support. So let's go with Jace. I've never won a season with Jace. I think that would be like.
That's a strong team on paper. Really strong team.
We'd have to have.
It's not out of the realms of possibility.
It's nearing the realms of possibility. Matt, wait, hold on. No, that's so out of the realms of possibility. What, a Matt, Sam, Jeansy tricor with Custard and Jay supports? Fuck off. You're not getting that.
Yeah.
You've got to sub one of them out.
Okay, so if I have to sub one of them out, it's going to be.
Oh yeah, no, Sam's too expensive. Yeah, you're not getting Sam.
It's okay. So let's swap that for. Who are the like? Oh, Daggy. Daggy's playing absolutely crazy this season. That could work.
That could work.
Good season.
I've never won a season.
That could actually work, and then that could
absolutely
work. Yeah.
Okay, make it happen.
Yep. Hell yeah.
Question 2: if you had to pick band members with no knowledge of their music abilities, who would play what and why? I'm guessing this is IDL.
Is that out of IDL?
Yeah, from IDL.
Yeah.
No knowledge of music abilities, because it would be. I mean, to be honest, it would be Phil anyway. Like, I know Phil's a really good musician, but I would pick Phil anyway because Phil feels like a great band member. As somebody who's had a lot of problems with band members, just like through my life, and being in a band is hell. Like, just straight up, if anyone's considering being in a band, don't. It's awful all the time. It's herding sheep that disagree with you, like on an existential level. That's how it is with every band ever. There are no exceptions. So I'd pick Phil for vibes. I think you need somebody who's like very unafraid to do things on like social media and shit. So I'd probably pick you, Henry, because I think you would be like totally happy being cringe on TikTok.
Yes.
Yeah.
Me too.
And then
shut up, man.
you would, but you wouldn't do it like every day. I could like Henry would do it.
I'm born for this.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm born for this.
Yeah, you'd get bored after like 2 weeks. And then give me. You need somebody you disagree with. You need somebody that you can like fight with like a little bit, because that's how you get like the best.
Pete.
Pete, indeed.
No, Pete is way more.
Oh yes, Pete will be pretty. Pete's pretty bad.
I think me and Custard actually probably agree more on musical opinions than we might like.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I think Pete and you might have the opposite music opinions.
Yeah.
Okay, what are
Sean
they
and I have
playing
pretty
as well?
unmusic opinions, but I know that Sean's really good at music. So, I would put Pete on drums because you have to
Okay.
disagree with your drummer. That's like just a rule.
Henry's
Phil
the bass player.
can Henry bass, Phil guitar, and that's not just because I know Phil already plays guitar.
Okay. I'm guessing you're singing.
Well, yeah, I
Okay,
can't do
okay.
anything else. So
Okay,
like,
I was
this
just
is for
checking. I
show. I don't know
was
how
just
this
checking.
works.
Just checking. Just checking.
Um,
I was gonna say you have a lovely house backdrop.
Thank you.
It might be a
Thank
green
you.
screen. You don't know.
It is a
It
green
isn't.
screen.
I can.
Can you
touch
go get the
beams.
cat?
Where is the cat?
The
I
shack.
can't get
Henry
the
will
cat,
like.
unfortunately.
Henry, have you met Custard's cat? Have you seen
No,
Custard's cat?
cat stood.
I think my partner is upstairs with Squiffins, so I can't
Squiffins.
go and steal. Yeah, Squiffins
Yeah,
is my
okay. Henry
cat's
has
name.
not met Squiffins.
Squiffins is
Yeah.
a cold ass name. Squiffins.
Yeah, she's great.
Sick.
She's a little chinchilla Persian, the white fluff cloud.
Chinchilla
Oh, that wasn't Ryan.
Persian.
Yeah.
Oh.
That is
She
basically
looks
Squiffins.
like that.
Wait,
Yeah.
hasn't Ellie got this cat?
No. The
Right.
second cat along, like the second picture of that cat, that looks literally identical to
Oh,
Squiffins.
that's a
that
cute
could
cat.
be Squiffins.
Oh, look at. Oh, that's a cute cat. Oh. Has that got something wrong with that?
Yeah,
No, that's kind of how they look.
That's an exotic short hair. They are.
Damn, that looks-
unfortunately, their noses are too close to their faces.
Oh,
and
no.
It really needs to be illegal to breed them, sadly, because they're
God.
really friendly cats. But...
That's not
Anyway,
good.
on that depressing note, let's move on.
Okay, yeah, from Ryan now. So we've got question 1. Tell these kids about Mind Game.
Oh, Ryan, yes! Mind Game is the best fucking movie of all time. It's not actually, it's the second best movie of all time, but it's really fucking good.
Oh,
Mind Game by
what's
Masaki
the
Yuasa,
top?
2003. It was actually released in 2003. It was made in 2001 for its initial cinematic release. One of the best films of all time. If you take any recommendation from me ever in your life, it is to watch this movie. It is the weirdest thing ever. The plot doesn't matter at all, but it's basically about a guy in Japan who's down on his luck. He gets shot in the face, meets God. God sends him back down to Earth. He ends up inside a whale with a sort of like not really Jonah and 2 women with enormous breasts. Then they
Where are
like
they?
do a dance on drugs. They're in there. They do a dance on drugs, and then together they have to escape the whale by like running up battleships and tanks and all manner of things. And then the film ends with a 2-minute microcosmic history of consumerist Japan, and it's the best film. It's so funny and exciting and genuinely moving, and everything.
Wait,
The
should we watch it at
narrative
the Trap
doesn't
House?
matter. It's so fucking.
Let's watch it
good.
at the Trap House. Let's watch it at the Trap
Yeah,
House.
should we watch it at the Trap
Absolutely.
House?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the top one movie? Just
Network,
is it that mountain
1976.
one?
No,
Okay,
Network,
it's not that
1976.
What's the mountain one? What's that one that you could?
The Holy Mountain by Alejandro Jodorowsky, which is
Yeah.
the weirdest film of all time, and I fully understand why not that many people love this film, but it's also just like everything I love about experimental film and like trying to really commit hard to making a social point with your film at the cost of watchability.
Every still picture from that looks like the Dune movie from the 70s, and it's like in the worst way. Like...
Well, it was directed by, so David Lynch takes a lot from Jodorowsky.
Does
And
he?
originally Jodorowsky was going to direct Dune, and
Oh,
then
wow.
for reason I can't remember why, but Jodorowsky's Dune stopped, and then they gave it to David Lynch. But originally it was.
So I was on the money then. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Wow. I didn't
Okay.
know that.
There's a you can buy like an art book of Jodorowsky's Dune that looks, you can sort of see where things have been taken and kept and where it's really interesting.
Sick. Okay, what is your favourite category of custard?
Earl Grey dessert custard.
What the fuck
Oh
is that?
nah. That's an L type.
It's literally just like a dessert custard. So custard
desert.
is, we think of custard as like a thing that you put with things.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
Custard's more
originally.
like
It
a
was
pudding.
originally, it was just a pudding in itself. And you brew a tea, and you put that as your water with the custard and the egg and stuff, and it is delicious. It's so
and it's
good.
not as good as quiche.
It's fucking lots better than quiche.
Nah, quiche can win that. Quiche wins.
Okay.
Okay,
Dev.
Dev. With this might be a maiden
These might be
maiden
Dota
questions.
questions. Oh my god.
Sorry,
Dev.
just before you start, Custard made the same face when I said quiche wins as I made when you said, "Oh, great, Custard," which was quite fun. We both like.
Okay, question 1 from Dev. Yes, here we go, Dota. Are you glad to have avoided the spoon bracket still, since the natural counter to custard would be the humble spoon?
Yeah.
Oh
100%.
yeah,
I don't
shit.
think I've won a wooden spoon, so
Neither have I. Because
So
I've always
the
been
answer
in the
to that
uppers.
yes is yes.
absolutely.
Okay, question 2. Being a captain's draft seasons, any underrated expected players impressing on heroes they wouldn't be known for, or have even played much before?
Wow.
Marquise on
I
slot.
mean-
No.
There are so many people who have impressed me this season. If I'm limiting this to like we've already mentioned Sean, we've mentioned Daggy having the best season of their life. Really looking like the player I think they've been promised to be for a while. I know. I mean, I don't want to like point to this as like Dev fishing for compliments, but I know Dev has played some really weird stuff this season, and they are top of the table, so they're like doing really, really well.
Yeah, to add on to that, I think Will is not a captain's draft player at all, and obviously he's having a barn burner season too. So I'd like to put that in as well.
Bonus.
Bomber clot.
A bomber clout season. Okay, good.
I said barn burner.
Barn burner,
Okay.
yeah.
Bomba.
Has anybody else like really stuck out? Oh, Ellie on Shadow Shaman. I would not have like.
No, I
I'm
wouldn't
a
have put
big
those two
Shadow
together.
Shaman enjoyer.
Yeah.
Prior to that game, I probably would have described myself as IDL's primary Shadow Shaman enjoyer,
Keats.
and now I think Ellie's just like instantly.
Keats.
Oh yeah,
Keats.
parakeets. Yeah.
Keats
Keats
and Shaman, they're joined him at the hip in my
They
They
heart.
are, but it depends on whether we think enjoyer is like somebody who can play.
Yeah. Oh god. Damn.
Keats does love Shadow Shaman more than I do. That's absolutely true. Love you, Keats. Love you to bits, buddy.
Right. With that, let's move on. Let's on with questions. So,
Debacle.
question now is Shitters League. Thoughts, and I really, really, really hope we lose the
Can we
season
change the
because I
branding?
want to play. I want to play.
Can we change the branding? I don't think it should be called Shitters League.
I think it should. It's an amazing.
I think Shitters League is a fantastic name.
Oh,
It's
okay. That's fine.
so as one of the, I think it was mostly me and Yam who were like initially up for the Shitters League. I have really loved this idea for a long time because I think one of the best things about IDL, and I'm speaking like with no sense of irony here whatsoever, but like I have leveled up so much in Dota since I first joined. And for me personally, on like an emotional level, the way I think about Dota has genuinely like for the better impacted the way I think about a lot of things in life. It teaches you a bunch of things about like systematic thinking and just like, rising above when things get bad. There's loads of like stuff you can genuinely learn from video games. And I think that giving people opportunities to genuinely level up their understanding of the game is holistically good for the league in terms of the game sense. It's good for the people in terms of they'll enjoy something they're good at more than in something that they're feeling a little outclassed on by their friends and surroundings. And it can like cross over into real life sometimes if you are that way minded. So I think any opportunity we can get to like improve the general level of IDL is fantastic. And I think this is the best possible way to do that. Because when you're in a team with somebody, when you have like an immortal and you're like new to the game. Let's take the example of Dev, like in Dev's first season. This was just after Dev started playing Dota, right? There's so much like learning that you could do from the immortals in that team, but the immortals in that team are trying to win the game themselves as well as like help you, and this is a powder keg of like frustration. It's really hard to authentically try and help somebody without it feeling like criticism. But if you put somebody,
you're not an immortal.
I'm not, but I do this with singing, so as a career teacher, there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just think
You're
that
trying
like
to win at singing.
yeah, I do try to win at singing. Um, putting somebody in the coach
Sorry.
role as an immortal, as somebody who is like proven to be, like have this level of knowledge, makes it so much less stressful when there is equal coaching available to like
Yeah, yeah, there would,
everybody,
yeah,
even in just those games.
for
It
sure.
also means that like those shitter players don't feel so much pressure to make calls and to do the like macro thinking about the game. They get for a whole season to just focus on their game and iterate on that while learning from their coaches on how to approach that game, how to play that game. That is providing we do go with this. I don't think the rules have been like
Yeah,
set in stone yet.
I don't like the idea of the coaches being in game.
See, I'm
I
a really big fan of the
absolutely
coaches
like
being
that
in
idea.
game.
I think it's a
Okay.
great idea because
So why don't you like it? Because this is a really interesting chat.
because there is a very big discrepancy between playing the game and knowledge of how to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say that, and that might sound like a weird distinction to make,
Is
but
this you
like
not wanting to lose to Nathan?
no. I think I would be able to move around the map better than Nathan. I think I could direct the team better.
See,
But
now,
but I
Prove
think
it.
if
Prove it.
right, okay, let's. I think me and Nathan are actually
so
quite
easy
similar.
debating into this.
No, I think me and Nathan are quite similar. I would say I don't want to throw anyone under the bus here, but I don't think Finn would be able to coach a team as well as me or Nathan could.
Interesting.
I think he would struggle with the holistic view of the map and how movements should be made.
I think
he's
Finn's
like a real
map
instinct player.
genius.
No, but he's an instinct player. He needs to be in the game.
But that's why he would be fine as a coach, because he'd be watching the game and kind of in the game in that sense. But
Yeah, I don't know. I think the difference is too much between some of the captains potentially.
Okay, but there's also but that would all in theory that would be addressed by the draft, because the captains would still draft in ELO ranking, right? Anyway, I also think there's a lot of value to like different captains at the immortal level provide different things. I don't think there is a player who will help people win their lane better than like Moose versus like Finn, who is super morale heavy, very like this is how you teamwork, this is how you team fight, this is how you like sort of this is how you can like abuse the team elements of a game. I think you are great at like specific timings, map movements, things like that. My point being that just like different immortals bring different things to the table, and there are so many different ways to improve at Dota. I think maybe there being a discrepancy between the captains, as well as this being potentially addressed in draft, isn't such a big deal that I think it would break what is ultimately.
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think it's.
But the problem is like,
like,
how are we going to balance the captain's elo? Because we haven't got captain elo.
Well,
like we haven't got assist. We can't use the normal elo.
That's what Nathan and Saboteur have presumably been trying to figure out.
Yeah, because we can't. Because I don't think it's fair that I'm X amount more expensive than what, just because that's play. That's not like this. So that's not statistically, but like used.
If
that's
I was going to do this, because there isn't like a play element, I would put it in elo order, but do snaking pick. So
up and down, up and down.
Yeah, so up and down, up and down. So you would get the last pick of the first round, but the first pick of the second round.
Right. Okay.
That kind of thing, because that was how IDL's like very early draft systems used to work, or something. Not necessarily snaking, but like
it was you'd get a pick each round, and then it would be in cumulative order still.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Which that might still work.
That might work. My point isn't that it should be snaking so much as it's that like I think you can use a different draft system to make that fair, that doesn't use the things but takes like an initial like pick order or something, to try and like attempt to balance it. I don't think
it apps like. I don't think it matters that much because it's an off-season like testing as well. Like they're probably only going to be 4 teams, so there's probably going to be, depending on if it's like a round robin or whatever. I don't know the format, but I think just giving it a go. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. It might be that one team's immortal captain is way better at coaching than others. Okay, good. Then that captain's brought that team to victory. Like I think it's just part of the testing.
As long as people are learning, I think it's a good thing. And I also think this is very much like for the test. I think that at the end of this season, people losing games, like individually, as one of the shitters losing games, will feel less bad. That's mostly a theory at this point, but I think if you are not in charge of draft, and if you're not in charge of like game movements,
You can blame the
if somebody
immortal.
else
You
is
can
in
blame the
charge,
immortal.
you can kind of blame the immortal, but also like you'll learn from those losses instead of being like frustrated at those losses because it's not a real season. You know, there'll still be elements of frustration. I'm not saying like we're just turning off the frustration button, but I think it's a healthier environment for shitters to like really evaluate their own game. And as long as people sort of go into this season looking at this as like we're doing this to improve rather and or to improve and to have fun rather than like hardcore competitive real season kind of try hard mode. I think everyone should have like a really good time with it, and that's what this is all about ultimately.
Hard agree. Hard agree. Anything else to add, Matt, on that topic?
I still don't like the coaches being in game. I think it would be more valuable for the coaches to be in the draft, doing the draft, and then doing replay after the fact. I don't think a lot of players deal well with micromanagement in the game.
I would say
Okay.
that's up to the players within the game, but no one has time for replay analysis after the
But
games.
if
Yeah,
we're
this is
doing the
my
system where the captains are the high elo players, they're going to have a certain level of "I'm in charge, you listen to me," and I don't think that that is going to have that. I don't think that that is good for in game.
Well,
If that is how it pans
well,
out.
all I'm going to say is the two low elo players here want that happening to them, but that's not necessarily to say everybody will.
You two are
It's
quite
not. Yeah, it's not.
receptive.
It's not to say
yeah
that everybody will want that, but I do think that a player, you can just say, I don't want coaching in this game. Can we go through it after the game? Like, I think that's fine to just opt as that. But
Yeah.
I think I'd really benefit from having an in.
You want me watching all of your last hits for the whole
Yeah,
season, Henry?
yeah,
I think
yeah. But you don't have to.
I
You don't have to say that to them. But you know what I mean.
yeah
I'm gonna tart every time you miss the last hit.
I think for me the real benefit isn't about like last hitting. And I think if you were a coach and you go in and you're like you're losing because your last hitting sucks, I don't think you're doing that job very well. I
But
think
what
the
if that is
stuff
the
that
reason?
well, that might be the reason, but you can talk about that like after the game. That's the stuff that you would revisit like after the game and be just like, okay, so between now and next week, do some last hit training, and you'll probably like see a marked improvement because they might not
Hmm.
realize that that's their problem. They might,
Yeah.
you know, like that's the type of thing that's still good coaching. It's just like that can be made into a feels bad if you, as the coach, chose to make it feels bad.
Hmm.
But I think the like the real benefit of this is stuff like is like when you're a shit player, and I know this from experience, when you're a shit player, you think a lot about your game, or you think a lot about the game, or you think a lot about items. It's very difficult to think about multiple things at once and to see how the jigsaw puzzle of Dota fits together. Stuff like map movements often fall by the wayside, and like within that what I just said, like I think most people, like 80% of shit players, think only really about their game, and the 20% is the people who are sort of leaving that and beginning to think about items, beginning to think about like the macro of like I've shown here this means my offlane is at risk because they know the enemy knows that I can't be there, stuff like that. Smokes, map movements, map plays, this all falls to the wayside. And it's only by experiencing that stuff that I think people get better at thinking about it themselves. The biggest single period of level up that I had in Dota was probably when I played 2 seasons in a row with Nathan. And in those seasons, like, I learned what smoking meant for the game effectively. And that season, like the second season, culminated with us in a game against Connor, where I think I made like my first ever real shot call at like 65, 70 minutes into a game. And I was like, the game doesn't make sense anymore. We need to do something like obnoxious and off kilter and like unorthodox, and just smoked us out of the base. We won a really weird fight coming at like them from the side, and it was the first time Nathan had ever been like, "That was the right call. That was a good call. Like that was smart." And that period of like actually experiencing map plays with somebody who's good at it and then beginning to make them myself really like changed my approach to Dota. And after that I started winning more seasons as captain. And that was like really good. And I just think this is not necessarily going to have exactly the same effect, but I think this season represents an opportunity for people to go into things with more of that mindset rather than just like a win or
And a safety net as well.
Yeah, and a safety net, exactly.
Yeah. I will say that was Dom's IDL season 20 team. And you had that was the middle season of the 3 seasons you won in a row. The other 2 seasons weren't with Nathan. I think it was with Dom, but it was 2 in a row.
I had Dom and Nathan for that season.
Yeah, for the middle one, you didn't have Nathan in the other ones, but regardless, it's fine.
I thought I had Nathan for 2 in a row. I'm probably wrong, but that I remember
it might
that
have been.
season. Like,
you had like point being yes, yeah. Your point does stand. Maybe I will be convinced. I'm not against the idea personally. I just maybe I'm coming at it from a balanced perspective, or I'm just a bit worried that one team is going to run away with the season. And it doesn't seem very fun. That doesn't seem very fun.
I don't think we should think about balance. It's an experimental season. Everyone wants it who's a shitter. So
it's also voluntary. Like people who are signing up for this, I think, should be signing up for this. This is a PSA. If you want to improve, if you want to treat this like a regular IDL season where you're like in it to win it, I'm not sure this is what this season is about in the same way. I'm sure you can have fun doing that, but I wouldn't let yourself get frustrated with it. Also, as a side note, this is just me like extending the previous thought. But like when people level up in Dota, I think it makes it so much easier to not be annoyed at the game, if that makes sense. Like the more you understand about why you lose, the less frustrated you get. And if I look at myself, I think of the like 2 periods of like what I would consider, I don't know if other people consider, and that's really the like mark of it, but I think I've had like 2 periods of defined level up. One is quite recently when I started playing carry and I like won a season on carry and started thinking about the game, having now got experience of like all 5 roles. That allowed me to like updated my macro understanding of the game, I think, quite a lot. And then the previous time, like both of those times, like represented me getting less and less frustrated with losing an IDL. And I think hopefully just this season will like just do that for some people and just like help them chill a bit more because they understand more about why. Understanding like the unknown is scary and frustrating. Knowing stuff is like, okay, it's GG. Oh well.
Yep.
I think that's way easy.
Hundo P. Anything to add, Matt?
No, I think I'll leave it there.
Okay, Bro's getting angry. Okay.
No. Okay, well, okay.
There we go. Fucking hell. I didn't have a wee
last thing I will say is, yes, I think you're right in the abstract and in the sense that, understanding leads to less frustration, perhaps for you. Understanding in IDL for me often leads to more frustration.
Interesting. Then, absolutely.
Because I know what other people have done wrong.
Okay, yeah.
Bro's got the Magnus Carlsen mindset.
No, it's true. It's true. Obviously, I'm not infallible. And often I can pinpoint the exact point where I potentially lost the game.
Yeah.
But there often is a lot out of my hands.
Yeah.
And that is frustrating. And as a coach, extra frustrating because it's fully out of your hands. You're not pressing any of the buttons.
Now we get to the rub. You're just afraid you'll lose.
Maybe this is a learning curve for you, Matt.
No, I don't mind losing. I'm not going to lose Ela off this, so it's fine. I'm going to stay top spot.
Yes. Final thing I will say is just a secondary PSA to those who, probably a select few who watch the pod and don't know about the Trap House. Trap House still very much open to everybody. Not for staying over, so you have to find your own place to stay. But if anyone does want to come to the Trap House, you're more than welcome. Send me a message. Send anyone else a message.
Dates? Is it the October
17th to 19th of October? It's Friday to Sunday, and it's in Warsaw. So
Poland, Warsaw, Poland.
No, Warsaw.
Warszawa.
Yeah.
Warszawa, if you're going to do it properly, but yeah.
And yeah, with that, thank you very much, CUST, for coming on.
Yeah,
Hope
cheers,
you've
mate.
had a good time.
Hey.
This has been a very, very interesting pod, actually. Maybe.
Yeah, this has been a real talker.
Yeah,
A lot of talking.
this has been a lot of discussion.
Fucking love opinions. I
Yeah,
love
strong opinions, daily
so
regrets.
I was thinking that when you said, "Hey, you want a strong opinion?" The first thing I thought was daily
Yeah.
regret.
Yeah,
This is my
yeah.
daily regret right here.
Yeah,
No,
true.
it's been fun.
What to end the pod? Like, what are your daily regrets?
Daily? Oh fuck, no, we don't want
Like
to talk
today,
about that.
like what is today's
Well, today-
regret?
it was today's
I
regret.
had a Monster Energy at 8:15 a.m. That was a daily regret. I'm regretting that right now.
Okay.
That's not good.
I didn't message my mum today. I'm gonna go do that after the
Oh,
pod.
Bastard.
It's my.
I
That's my
actually no,
regret.
that's mine. I didn't message Henry's mum either.
What the? Right, that's it. Leave a comment. Leave a
It's
comment.
okay, Henry. It's fine because your dad said it was okay for me to fuck your mum. It's fine. Custom
Right,
said it was fine too.
I
Leave a
convinced
comment
him.
saying,
I evangelized
I
Henry's
hate
dad.
Matt.
Like after this, me and Custard are going around to your mum's house.
Right,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
it. I'm
yeah.
ending the pod. Goodbye, everybody. See you next time.